Hi, welcome to It Takes Guts. I'm your host, Stacy. I've been a GI nurse practitioner for the past 6 years, and prior to that, I was a nurse in the endoscopy department for 15 years. I love GI. Today, we're going to be talking about probiotics and your gut flora or your gut microorganisms and how they affect us. What do they do? Do we need probiotics? To understand that, let's start with a few definitions. First is the gut microbiota. What is that? Those are the microorganisms that live inside our gut. That includes bacteria, both beneficial and not beneficial, sometimes harmful, fungi, mostly yeast, and then some viruses. The gut microbiome is the actual DNA of these microorganisms that live in our gut. So it's kind of a collective thing. Probiotics, these are live microbes that are ingested to promote health, specifically gut health. And then prebiotics is the food substances that are used by the gut microbes. So what do the actual microbes or microorganisms of our gut do? One of the most important things they do is they protect the cells that line our intestine. This helps also not only with digestion, but plays a major role in our immune system. It also affects our mood. So what can cause the microbes or the microorganisms in our gut to become out of whack or imbalanced? One of the main things is antibiotics. That knocks out whatever bacteria you're trying to knock out, like for a skin infection or an infection in your lungs. It unfortunately also knocks out some of the healthy bacteria that's in our gut. Diet can play a major role, and sometimes genetics. What happens when the microorganisms in our gut become imbalanced? Well, it causes inflammation in the cells lining our intestine. Some people call that leaky gut. That's kind of a harder thing to explain overall, but it can lead to symptoms because now you're having inflammation. The cells don't stay as tight as they need to. It can cause GI symptoms like diarrhea or bloating or just any change in bowel habits. It increases our risk of infection now because it's starting to affect the immune system. It has been shown that there is some increased risk of colon cancer when this gets out of whack, significantly out of whack. And they think there's also an increased risk of some autoimmune disorders. So how do we test to find out if our gut microorganisms are doing what they're supposed to? Well, there are some studies that are being done, some stool studies you can do like at-home kits, or some might be done in a doctor's office. The problem is that there's no universal standardized way to test that's going to give you the same results every time. Every time we give a stool sample, at any time in our day, depending on what we just ate, what time of day it is, any medications we're on, there's going to be different microorganisms that we're putting out. And they're not always in the same location. So unfortunately, there's not one great way at this time to test for it. But what can we do to keep our microorganisms in our gut healthy? Is there something we can be doing? Should I take a probiotic? That's one of our main questions. Well, at this time, probiotics are not actually recommended. I know there are a lot of them out there, but the studies are showing that they don't actually colonize our gut. So we're ingesting these live microbes, but they're not actually getting in our gut and staying there. A number of the bacteria or microbes that are in those probiotic capsules are not even native to our gut. So those are not ones that we normally have in there anyway. They can be kind of expensive. The cheapest are about $30 a month, and that can add up. And they also, if people do take them, not really showing improvement in people's symptoms. Usually they're taking them because they're bloated or uncomfortable. And then they're considered food supplements, not drugs. So they're not actually regulated very well by the FDA. So I'm not telling you can't take probiotics. For most people who have a healthy immune system, you're not going to have any harm. But at this point, there's really not a huge benefit we're seeing out there yet. What can you do? Diet. In fact, I have mentioned this in so many videos already, but fiber, a high fiber diet is one of the best things you can do to help your gut flora. We have found that a high fiber diet, it's high in prebiotics, which feeds your good bacteria. And people who have a high fiber diet are shown to have less heart disease, less strokes, less diabetes, less colon cancer, and they live longer. So really looking at your diet is one of the best things and one of the only things we know at this time to help your gut. What about the future? Are there going to be probiotics or something in the future? That's to be seen. This is something that a lot of scientists, especially in the GI world, are really working on because we're starting to see it. So important. It plays such a vital role in our health and in our longevity and in disease processes and our immune system. We know it's important. At this time, there's really not a recommendation for a probiotic that's specific for a person to take just as a general health benefit. So hang in there. Things should be coming down the pipeline in the future. I will continue to do some research and be watching what's coming out and let you know. So please like and subscribe to the channel. If there are some things that you would like to know more about, leave some comments, let me know. And remember, I want you to be educated, informed, and know you're not alone.